So, Djokovic and Berankis, they're facing off in the third round of Roland Garros. Now, Djokovic has been in good form, especially in his first two matches here. He played his first round against Sangren. He beat him in straight sets. In that match, he didn't get broken in that match. That was good. And then second match against Cuevas actually managed to challenge him, even though the scoreline looked easy. It wasn't as easy as it looked. Cuevas managed to challenge him for the first set and the third, but he managed to win it in straight sets 6-3, 6-2, 6-4. And his serve has been really good too. He served 10 aces in the Cuevas match. And he's also in the Sangren match, 186 within that first serve point. So he's been looking good on serve as well. And he also had a good year. He reached the Australian Open final. And he won a title in Serbia earlier before he came to this tournament. And he also made the final of Rome. So he's looking in good touch ahead of the slam. Now, his opponent Berankis isn't really known for his clay court prowess. He's more of a hard court player. But he has done well in his first two matches. He did beat Ugo Humbert in the 29th seed in 4 sets. He also beat Duckworth in 4 sets, 7-5, 2-6, 7-6, 6-0. And in the Duckworth match, he really played well because he served 8 aces. And he's not really known for his serve because he is a shorter player, but he did manage to serve 8 aces. So that's impressive on Berankis' part. And he's also had some decent wins in the tune-ups. So that's a good in the clay tournaments ahead of this slam. He had some decent wins. That's an encouraging sign for Berankis. Now, these two players have met. In fact, they met last year at this same event. And Djokovic won that one in straight sets, but they have met 3 times overall. And Djokovic won all their encounters. He hasn't dropped a set in any of their encounters. And the most recent encounter, as I've said, in Roland Garros and on the clay courts, that was last year, and Djokovic won that one in straight sets. So I think that once again it's going to be a straight sets win. Berankis just doesn't have the play style that troubles Djokovic enough. He's not good on the clay, and plus he's not able to challenge Djokovic with that kind of play style. So I'm going to pick Djokovic once again. It's going to be a straight sets win. He's going to want to conserve energy for more of the tougher matches in the tournament. So Djokovic in straight sets is my prediction here. Marco Cecchinato and Lorenzo Musetti, they're facing off in the third round of Roland Garros. Now, Cecchinato has kind of fallen off. He was really, in 2018, he played really well. He reached the semifinals of the French Open at this tournament. And he hadn't won a match at first. In the French Open, up until 2020. At first, from 2018 to 2020, he hadn't won a match except for his run in 2018. So he didn't win a match in 2019. But in 2020, he broke that curse by managing to win a match, to win 2 matches, and managed to make the third round there. And he's also made a third round here similarly too. And he made the final of the Pharma event earlier this year. So he is showing some flashes of his best form now. And in this tournament, he's played well too. He beat Uchiyama in 4 sets. And Alex de Minaur, he took the third set, but Cecchinato managed to win it in 4 sets as predicted. So that's a good win from Cecchinato. He'll be hoping to boost his confidence with it. Especially now he plays a rising youngster in Musetti. Now Musetti has also been on the rise this year. He reached the semis of the Acapulco event, which was his first ATP 500 semi. He managed to also reach the quarterfinals of the Sardinia Open, and he's had some decent victories. He also reached the semis of Lyon. He beat Auger-Aliassime, he beat Korda, he also beat Bedene, and he lost to Tsitsipas. But what was encouraging is that he took a set off him, unlike the other time where he didn't take a set. So that's a good, encouraging thing. And in Roland Garros, he's now also played well. He beat David Goffin in straight sets, and he beat Nishioka in straight sets as well. So that's encouraging for him, and he's going to be hoping to bring that same form. Against Cecchinato, because he can be a hard man to beat when he's on form. Now, Cecchinato and Musetti, they've never met, so they have a 0-0 head-to-head record. So I think that Musetti will win. I think that while Cecchinato may be the more experienced player of the two, I think Musetti gets the win just because He's playing really well. I think that he can do something similar to what Sinner did last year. So I'm gonna pick I'm gonna pick Musetti to win it. I think it's gonna be 4 sets, but I think Musetti will get this done in the 4-set match. So Berrettini and Kwon, they're facing off in the 3rd round of the French Open. Berrettini has been in good form this year, and in his first 2 matches, he has also played well. But before we talk about that, let's talk about his form this year. He's played really well. He won the title in Serbia, in Djokovic's hometown. He defeated Karatsev in the final. He also made a Masters 1000 final in Madrid. He lost to Zverev in 3 sets. So he is playing pretty well, and he's showing that he's getting better, because last year he wasn't really such in good form. I guess the COVID protocols got to him, and it was a little challenging, but this year he seems to be in better form and playing better, and is showing more of his 2019 brilliance. So that's a good thing to see. And now in his first 2 matches, he's also played well. Against Taro Daniel, he beat him in 4 sets. In that match, he served 14 aces, won 90% of first serve points. That was good from Berrettini. Against Coria, he beat him in straight sets. He won 82% of first serve points, so that's pretty good from him. Now he gets to play Kwon, who should have an easy time, because Kwon isn't really a clay court specialist. Now Kwon is not really, as I said, he's not really known for his clay court abilities, but he has played some good matches. And in Andalusia on the clay, he made the quarterfinals, defeated Bagnis, who's good on the clay. So that's a good win from Kwon. He also managed to now do well in this tournament. He's beaten 2 good players. He beat Kevin Anderson in 4 sets. He then beat Seppi in straight sets. So he's definitely in good form now. And even though he's not as good on the clay, he is trying to make his game work on the clay, which is a good thing. But he's gonna have a tough test up if he has to play Berrettini. Now, these 2 opponents have never met, so they have a 0-0 head-to-head. So I think that Berrettini will win this. I think I'm saying this because Berrettini is just playing too well, and Berrettini is more of an all-court player. Kwon is much more comfortable on the hard courts, and while he's trying to make his game work, I don't think it'll be enough to beat Berrettini, because Berrettini is one of the dark horses that can make a deep run in this tournament. So I'm going to pick Berrettini to win this in straight sets. So Dominic Kopfer and Federer, they're facing off in the 3rd round of Roland Garros. Now, Kopfer has had, I would say, a solid year. He managed to make the quarterfinals of Geneva, of actually his opponent's home tournament. He also managed to make the semis of Acapulco, so he is playing pretty well this year, I would say. And he is good on the clay. His lefty forehand really does well on the clay, and as evidenced in his run to the Rome quarterfinals last year. And in his first 2 matches, he's also played well. He first played against Matthias Borg. He beat him in straight 6-3, 6-3, 6-4. And then against Taylor Fritz, he notched a massive win. He beat him in 4 sets. And in that match, he served 6 aces, so a little good on the serve. And he had a 70% first serve percentage, so not bad. Not the best serving statistics, but not certainly bad, as he's actually one of the shorter players. So he has a good serve for the players that are shorter. And now he's gonna be facing one of the all-time greats on the other side of the net. Yeah. Now, Federer hasn't played a lot this year. In fact, he's only played 1 clay court tournament before this, where he lost to Andujar in the first round. But he seemed to have rolled back the years in this tournament. He's played 2 matches against Istomin. He managed to win 80% of first serve point. He served 8 aces and no double faults. And then against Cilic, it was a tight one, but he managed to come through in 4 sets. That one he served 16 aces. But something to note was, like, on breakpoint opportunities, he didn't take all of them. He converted 5 out of 16 against Cilic. And against Istomin, he converted 5 out of 13. So he's going to want to up that, because when he goes into the later rounds, he's going to have to take every chance he gets. He can't lose chances. So he's going to have to up that when he goes into the later rounds. These 2 players have never met, so they have a 0-0 head-to-head. So I think that while Kopfer is really playing well, I think that Federer will win. I think that the Federer will want to up his game because he knows he's gonna have to likely face Djokovic in the quarterfinals, and I think that that will make him want to up his game to play better. So I'm gonna pick Federer to win this one in straight sets as a result.